Welcome to episode one of Bayonet Banter. Today we'll be going over line sizes and how that affects the entirety of an event. Today I am joined by
Perk
Burke.
from the
Burke,
2B.
how many hours do you have on the game?
I have, oh gosh, I have 576 hours on the game.
All right, so you've played quite a bit. How long have you been playing Holdfast for?
Oh, I think I'm at exactly a year and a half. I started playing in June of 2022.
Okay, all right, yeah. We talk about this idea of line sizes and making sure they're not too big, not too small. But it really just comes down to which regiments like bring the most people. Because as you know, we're in a regiment now that brings quite a few people to an event, so
Right,
we're
right,
used
right.
to bigger line sizes. But for those regiments that don't bring a whole lot of people and they use smaller lines, like they can use them to their advantage as well. So we're just going to be going over line sizes today. So the first question I have for you is taking a big line into consideration, around 10 to 15 people. What potential opportunities can that bring to the team overall and like yeah, just anything, any positives?
Big line. I I think they do have their advantages. They're kind of a little bit easier to like mow down other lines and to move.
Yeah, right.
I guess yeah, it's pretty hard. It's easier to when you're pushing like arty and stuff like that. Whenever I'm in a big line and we're pushing the artillery, or if we're trying to push the cav, or I guess if cav is pushing us.
Yeah.
But yeah, we don't really push cav.
Yeah, yeah.
But it definitely is hard. It's hard to get a shot off in a big line. It's hard to get to the line like at the
Quickly.
time when
Yeah.
the try to get to the line quickly. There's just so many people.
Right, yeah.
Um, yeah, I do enjoy big lines for the most part. I enjoy small lines though,
Yeah,
but
same.
I really do. It's always fun to switch it up. Like, I think I just had my first big line fairly recently, and in like a while,
Hmm.
and I had a lot of fun doing it. It really is fun switching up. But yeah,
Yeah,
I'd probably
right.
just say a long answer. Just pushing when you're pushing other people and pushing arty for the main part. I feel like that's where a big line kind of comes
Yeah,
OP.
yeah. And we talk about the numbers game in Holdfast, which is true, but what drawbacks do you think a bigger line has against, those artilleries, those cavalry, even smaller lines that may like get them on the flank? Like, do you have
Mhm.
any drawbacks that big lines have?
Yeah, you're a way bigger target for Artie. Artie's gonna be aiming you down from the start. Um, yeah, you're just a way bigger target. You're a bigger target for lines too. You're looked at more on the lines, and I'm sure it's harder for the line leader. I haven't really led mega lines like that before, but it's really hard. I'm pretty sure it's pretty hard for a line leader to get everyone onto the same page. Like
Hmm.
we said earlier, getting up to the line, like by the time that the line leader presses the button to like fire and you get
Yeah,
that little buff. Um, when you get up to the line, sometimes there's a lot of smoke from from the guns. Also,
yeah,
yeah,
that
there's
can
just
be seen.
there's a
Yeah.
lot.
So moving on to smaller lines. So taking smaller lines into consideration, like some of those smaller regiments, bring like 3 to 8 people. What opportunities can a small line bring to an event?
The smaller lines, you learn a lot more, especially if you're a new player learning. I always thought me being with being in the mega lines of the 44th, I really didn't learn that much
Yeah.
until I was starting to be in the smaller lines, like on the NA side of the 44th.
Mhm.
Um, you definitely learn a lot more and you learn better. Um, it's easier to be quicker. Like you're a lot quicker, like significantly quicker than everything, but
Right. Yeah.
you really don't make a dent. You really don't make that big of a dent on the scoreboard
Yeah.
whenever it comes to like having a big line. Um, because sometimes y'all can only just have a few kills like all together, and
Right.
that's like a
Yeah.
really
So
small
that
dent.
could be a negative. So on the topic of
Yeah.
drawbacks, like obviously the number of kills you're gonna get with a smaller line, isn't gonna be as high as if you were in a bigger line. But you're also just more vulnerable if you get shot because like you have to really take positioning into consideration with the smaller line because
Yeah,
if you
you're
have
way
three
more
people
vulnerable.
and then one of them gets shot, you're broken. So with the bigger
Yeah,
line, I think their job is to do more of the pushing and like really just like the hard work of the team while the smaller lines can flank and do some of the tad bits and like clean up and stuff.
right, right.
So my final question is in your opinion, what line size do you prefer based on your experience with the game and after playing for as many hours as you have?
Um, I'm 100% a smaller line. Like I said, I probably would go more crazy if I just had to be in big lines the entire time.
Yeah.
Um, but I mean, they both have their positives, both have negatives, but definitely I think smaller lines have more positives. I prefer smaller lines by far, but yeah, like I said, I definitely love like switching it up every now and then. But yeah, for sure,
Yeah.
smaller
All right.
lines. That's my go-to.
All right. Thanks, guys, for everyone tuning in to episode one of Bayonet Banter. This was Perk from the 2B that I had on today, and we hope to see you guys on the battlefield soon. See ya.